what do you think the role of education is in times of war? Does it change?
Wow. It's a very difficult question because, I mean, in a sense, I think the role of education is sort of the same whether you're in a time of war or not, I think, because the role of education is partly to do with helping you think and helping you digest the world around you and make sense of the world around you, and to inculcate in people civilized values and humane values, and to understand the way in which people might be encouraged to kind of do things that you might not expect people to do because of the way they've been manipulated through language, through ideology, through history, through systems and processes and so on. And, you know, in a sense, I think that's kind of the role of all educators. Whatever you're teaching, you know, it may sound weird to say that, like to think if you're teaching a geography class or, you know, a biology class or something, that you're also involved in those things. But I don't think really any of those subjects are separate. And I mean, like when I look at my daughter, who's 14 now, I look at the way she learns geography at school in London. I mean, they talk about the disparity of wealth between the global north and the global south. They talk about countries exporting things that then have value added to them in the global north, who then profit from the raw materials of the global south. And, you know, all of the way they understand those subjects is through a discussion of ethics and morals and end products and results and so on. And I think that's as it should be, you know. And I think when you're teaching history or when you're teaching literature or when you're teaching even mathematics, you know, maths isn't like a neutral thing that exists in a vacuum. Maths feeds into algorithms, algorithms feed into a whole load of stuff to do with the way in which we experience the world and which reality is constructed for us. So I think in a sense, on one level, education always has that responsibility to encourage people to be aware of all these kinds of things. I think in a time of war, there's maybe a clearer or more urgent, I don't know, impetus upon us as educators to be clear about where we stand and to be clear about what we think, and to, if we have platforms and if we have a space within which we can talk about things, to share those values and to share those kinds of beliefs and to kind of bring some of those things to the forefront, and also just to kind of help people make sense of things. Because, you know, I mean, my kids are aware of the fact that, you know, for example, on Russian TV on a daily basis, they threaten to nuke England, you know, and so my kids are sort of like asking questions like, you know, is it possible that you think we could be nuked? And as an educator, you have a kind of responsibility to think about how you're going to deal with those kinds of questions if they're coming in from students. And, you know, people don't exist in vacuums or exist in little bubbles. People are aware of what's happening in the world around them. And I think particularly if you're an English language educator, you have a kind of responsibility to kind of be open to these things and to discuss these things and to, I don't know, for me personally, have a clear moral stance on where the line is for you.
That's a great point, where the line is.